You feel about Rastafari nowadays and what you have to say as an elders? Ras Bobby, let's see. Rastafari.
Yes, I am Ras Bobby. I live in Dominica. I grew up there many years ago. Um, Happy to have grown up in this land. If I were to grow up again, I probably would want to grow up in Dominica again, the place of many rivers. Some of us call this Rivernica. Um, I'll say hi to the Rastafari brothers and sisters from Waitikubuli, which is the original name of Dominica. And I say blessings to all Rastafari brothers and sisters who live in the Caribbean but also live in the diaspora. As we know, on a Pan-African level, we are the sixth region of the African Union. So we connect locally, we connect regionally, and we connect internationally. But at this reasoning, I want to speak on behalf of the Caribbean Rastafari organization, of which I am a member. So simple, the Caribbean Rastafari organization is an amalgamation of Rastafari of many Caribbean islands. So as we know, we have many Africans live in the Caribbean, as we have a similar history. So we were kidnapped and brought to the West some 400-500 years ago. And ever since that happened, the Pan-African movement was born. We know of the Pan-African movement through the Emperor Haile Selassie I, and we also know of the Pan-African movement through our Marcus Garvey, the great prophet Marcus Garvey, and numberless Pan-African historians like Dr. Ben Jokanan and Ivan Van Satima and Ranoka Rashidi and even the Rastafari movement, Elijah Muhammad and the black Muslims and people like Malcolm X. So that is the kind of background that we have as Rastafari. We see these days that the youths have been given a different impression as to what Rastafari is, even if some of them overstand the movement and through the music and through other cultural practices. But basically, Rastafari, the origin of Rastafari comes from His Imperial Majesty, of course, and also through the Pan-African movement and the Order of Nyabingi, which is basically a healing movement for African people. So we here on earth, and as a natural healer, my overstanding is, in this lifetime we come to be healed. We come to adhere to the principles of love, to the principle of light, to the principle of recognizing that we have to return our meditation to self. The journey is too often out there. Our journey is within here, through breathing exercises, techniques, like through yoga, tai chi, qigong, through our LIVITY. We aim to liberate ourselves from the degradations of wrong living. So the idea here is to come on earth, and when we leave earth, to try to make sure that we contribute to making this earth a better place to be, a better place to live, as we've come many times. Yes, we are reincarnated souls who have reincarnated as Rasta, even on a Dominica level. We are the Maroons who've run away from the tribulations of colonialism and slavery, and with a determination to transform ourselves, overstanding that many African cultures have been there before us. So we ain't come to reinvent the wheel. African activity has always been activities involving the raising of the consciousness. We know that the highest consciousness is love. And so we want to be involved in practical love through agriculture, through culture, through the development of the perfect family, through the encouragement of the greatest relationships that we can form as we go along as a collective, as we create the critical mass that will be responsible for the liberation of ourselves on a local level through our acts of faith. Yeah, there's a need for us to create great projects together, constantly have responsibility for each other within the Kudme spirit. We want to remind I and I out there that the most important thing right now is to unite for food security reasons.
Yes.
We have a responsibility to ensure that irrespective of food shortage on the planet, that I and I have a responsibility to ensure that we maintain the agriculture so that we can feed our children. For once we can feed ourselves, we can be independent. We cannot keep being dependent on food from our enemies.
Nope.
We have a responsibility to get to learn about the herbs around us, especially even after our experience with the so-called pandemic, which we know was a scamdemic. That we have our responsibility to find out about the herbs around us, like the Sepville, and the ginger, and the turmeric, and the vevenlachewat, and the zebapik, and the flesiwo, and all those herbs that help strengthen the immune system while at the same time clean the lungs, because our recent situation there caused us to find out all the things that we need to find out on a cultural level through our herbal practice. And you know, all these things is what Rastafari is all about. What is it that we're going to do in the advent of the New World Order? What are the implications of the New World Order? The New World Order is a situation that Babylon is bringing onto us, whereby the banking system of this world decides that they want to have full control of everything about you, your data, your finances. Soon you're not going to be able to trade with dollars anymore. What does Rasta do about that? What can we do to balance that out? The only way, brothers and sisters, is to plant our own food, to eat what we grow, to continue with the concept of bartering. We can share the things that we need to share. We need to take advantage of the new wave of the acceptance of the cannabis. So suddenly Babylon realized that cannabis is the greatest healer on the planet. But yet they organizing themselves to be the main people to make money out of the cannabis. So they actually have stolen our culture and are very viable with taking advantage of our culture. So we as Rasta now have to decide what we're going to do about that. And what we can do about that is to come in numbers, to come to organize and centralize. Very often these days when you tell Rasta about organizing, they have a negative feeling about organizing with other people. But this is the dictate of His Majesty. If we say we're Rasta, it means His Majesty is our leader. And His Majesty indicated to us that we should organize and centralize. So considering that coming together is actually what spirituality is, we have no excuse but to come together to do the work that we have to do. It's not easy to organize a Caribbean organization, my brothers and sisters. But remember what Marcus Garvey do. All over the planet he go to organize black people. And so even if we have challenges in the Caribbean region, like how expensive it is to travel, but we do have a choice. We've had a reasoning through this conference here in Colombia. We had a mystic experience in the airport where we were left in a cold room to sleep on the floor, and we end up finding ourselves in a castle, in a chapel, and we simply reasoned all night. All through the night we reasoned about the Caribbean Rastafari organization and what we can do as a group, because we recognize that suddenly we at a conference reasoning about the fair trade of